Feelings normally run so high in the Derby of the South, as it's known, and while neither side can nurture any serious championship ambitions, of course, the prospect of a European place next season is certainly a target for Napoli, and Roma are very anxious to appease those irate supporters currently revealing their wrath and indignation at the team's repeated failure to live up to expectations. Well, much improved was the half-term verdict on Napoli's season under coach Lippi. They've gained some very useful results. Victory at Parma, perhaps the best of them. And they were very unlucky, too, to lose so heavily at Sampdoria when we featured them a few weeks ago. Well, despite an injury fear, Daniel Fonseca continues up front. Only Silenzi of Torino has scored more in Serie A this season. Disappointing news, though, for Napoli is that Paolo Di Canio, the former Lazio and Juventus winger, is unfit to play. Bresciani comes in up front. Well, the season promised so much for Roma, but they simply haven't delivered with any degree of consistency. And the scenes of unrest at the training ground this week suggest that the patience of their fans is rapidly running out. No Hessler or Giannini then today, both are suspended, but the attacking flair of fullback Carboni has been restored to a side which includes youngsters Scarchilli and Beretta. And the Brazilian defender Alder is back after long-term injury. 3-2 to Napoli when the teams met earlier in the season, with Roma seeking today not only revenge for that setback, but also to improve on a dismal record of not having beaten Napoli home or away in the last 9 attempts. Well, Liam Brady alongside me here. It's clearly going to be a very passionate afternoon.
Yes, it always is, Peter, this fixture. Naples have really got the enthusiasm of the fans behind them again. It appeared at the start of the season that they were going to really struggle this season, but they have the support going again, and really one would expect them to win today against a struggling Roma team.
Well, having a scare concerning Fonseca, the news in the dressing room is that he's fit. At least he's fit enough to start the game. Whether he can finish or not remains to be seen. There clearly was quite a big doubt over him, but he's very important to Napoli.
Yes, absolutely. Second highest top scorer in Italy at the moment in Serie A. Marvellous goal scorer, can score all types of goals. Only a couple of weeks ago we saw him bend one over the wall against Naples. Then there was that overhead kick at Parma. A really, really great player, and as Malcolm was saying earlier on, it's a wee bit sad for the Napoli fans that they may have to lose him next season to ease their financial worries.
Now, Bresciani has been preferred up front. He's hardly featured this season, or indeed in the last campaign either. He was mainly a substitute then as well. Bresciani preferred then to Buzo as on the bench.
Yeah, well, Buzo's been playing midfield for the last few weeks, which is a surprise again because he's an out-and-out front runner, but Lippi has changed things around at Naples and has managed to get a good format to the side. They seem to be well organised. The game we saw them against Sampdoria about 3 weeks ago, I thought they were very unlucky to lose by that score, 4-1. I thought that flattered Sampdoria a little in the end. They've really got things going. Look at the support they've got here today. They've got that UEFA Cup place in sight. I expect them to win today.
Just got a glimpse there of Alder, the Brazilian, who is surprisingly back in the Roma side. He's been out since last June when he was injured in the Italian Cup final. He'll be making his way back from injury, and it's a bit of a shock call up to him today, but again, a key defender for Roma, Alder.
Yes, very great player as well, Peter. Had a very serious injury, his cruciate ligaments, 6 or 7 months ago. And perhaps it's an indication of how Roma are struggling, that they were prepared to put Alder in so quickly after coming back from a very serious injury. It's perhaps indicative that they are really struggling.
And Marco Lana also back at the Roma side today. He's been out for quite a while with injury as well, the former Sampdoria defender. And they certainly have a whole catalogue of injuries to contend with at the moment, Roma. So the further loss of Giannini and Hessler, quite savage blows to them, really. Piacentini, who'll be the captain of Roma in the absence of Giannini. Balbo, only 5 goals from the Argentine up front so far this season. And he's getting a bit concerned about losing his place in the Argentina side for the World Cup finals. Bresciani, incidentally, making his first start of the season for Napoli. He did feature in the opening game of the campaign away to Sampdoria when he came on as a sub and scored late on. But since then, he's been very much out of the picture with Napoli. Fonseca, 12 goals in Serie A from him this season. The young Pecchia there, who so often has been the supply line for him. And linking very well with Fonseca. Pecchia, promoted to a regular place this season by Coach Lippi. Mazzoni, the coach of Roma, a man very much under fire. As indeed it will seem everybody was at the training ground in the week.
Well, that's the way things can go in Italy, Peter. The teams are expected to do well, especially a big club like Roma, who spent a lot of money. And really, when it doesn't go right, the fans can turn on their players pretty quickly. We've seen it happen, I think, Naples last year. It's Rome's turn this year.
Just looking through the Roma side, which, as I say, was a bit of a surprise to us with Aldair coming in. I would think he'll take on the sweeper role, with Lana, one of the markers. Festa, who's been playing really well, he wears the number 2 shirt. He will certainly be a marker. Man who's come from Inter on loan. So Roma then kicking off, attacking the goal to our left in the darker strip. There is Aldair. Yes, I think it is. There's so much smoke in the stadium, it's hard to see anyone at the moment. Referee today, Graziano Cesari from Genoa, who's had his differences with players from both teams in recent times. And indeed, these have been very volatile affairs, Napoli and Roma. 6 players sent off in 3 recent meetings. Roma beat 2-0 at home by Udinese last week. Napoli shared a 1-1 draw with Torino. This is Pecchia, Algambro on loan from Milan. Operating the team on the right side today.
Well, that's a big surprise. We saw him have a tremendous game against Sampdoria 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he's playing left back. It's unusual to see him out there, although he's right-footed.
A very shaky start to the season, Napoli, a couple of defeats, but then they've got their act together and they've impressed a lot of people this season and certainly have that UEFA Cup place within their sights. By no means beyond them. Bia, who's the sweeper in the Napoli side. Ferrara. Put out by Lara. Misunderstanding there. Bonacina and Carboni. Balbo. Aldair. None of that caught in possession. Now what can Bresciani do here? Whipping over the cross. And too close to goalkeeper Lorieri, whose place we gather is under threat from Pagliuca of Sampdoria, who's being pursued at the moment by Roma. In readiness for next season, though, I should add. Seems a little harsh on Lorieri, who's played well this season. Certainly he can't be blamed for Roma's failings. Now goes Alessio Scarchini. Plus 21. Aldair. Looking for Balbo. Bia with the clearance. But as far as Piacentini. Bonacina, who was sent off when we featured Roma a few weeks ago against Juventus. That clash with Jurgen Kohler. Bonacina just back from suspension. its turn. The Swedish international. Chip forward by Beer. Bonacina. This is Capioli. Balbo. Couldn't shake off the attentions of Cannavaro. Just showing of the first goal of the day. It's Inter 0, Cagliari 1, a goal from Luis Oliveira. So maybe a shock on the cards there, or a surprise anyway. Not so much a shock, Cagliari having a good season. But Inter desperately need to win today to maintain their momentum up near the top end of the table. Milan away to Atalanta this afternoon. Juventus at home to Foggia. Parma are also travelling there at Genoa. And tonight it's Lazio against Cremonese. And you, of course, can see highlights of that one on Mezzanotte on Tuesday night. Lazio with Paul Gascoigne at home to Cremonese. If he plays. Not sure. I'll let you know later. Till Tuesday, though. Capioli threading it on. Flags up for offside against Balbo. There's the one outright striker in the Roma side this afternoon. They've also lost Rizzatelli through injury, his normal partner up front. Off goes Fonseca. Easily held, though, by Laurieri, who's only conceded 3 goals in the last 6 away games, so he travels well. Festa. Alder. Piacentini. Very industrious player in the Roma side. They're certainly going to miss Hester's probing down the flank, Liam.
Yes, but they haven't started too badly, Roma. As you said, and as Malcolm said prior to the game, they have Balbo operating on his own up front. It's going to be difficult. A lot of the play is concentrated in midfield. There's a lot of bodies in the middle of the park. I think we're going to see quite a few challenges like this.
That's Bia, the offender then. With the foul on Capioli, who was recently called up by Arrigo Sacchi for his latest get-together for the Italian national squad. He was a 68th player called up by Sacchi. I think he wanted to look at Liam Brady, but Liam insists he's packed it in. Carboni. Nobody upfield though for Roma. Via settles so neatly into the sweeper role for Napoli this season. After playing in Serie B for Cosenza in the last campaign. Pecchia. Turn. Pecchia again. Roma massing everybody behind the ball. I think they're going to be hard to break down today. Bia. Gambaro. Lippi, coach of Napoli. Pecchia. Got away from Scarchini, then gave it away. Scacchini. Foul then by Bia on Abel Balbo. So it's been a fairly untidy start. One or or two tackles clattering in. Capioli is the latest player down, injured now. Roma, who've had just 2 away wins so far this season. Capioli looks to be okay, at least for the moment anyway, but I think that shoulder's going to be a problem for him. And they can ill afford to lose Capioli with the list of absentees already fairly extensive. Cannavaro, held by Scarchili. Cannavaro, who returned to the side last week but was subbed off in the second half, was getting the runaround from Carbone, the Torino striker, but then there's a few who've suffered as his hands this season. It goes Pecchio well. 10 minutes gone, neither side making any real impact so far. Certainly no hint of a goal. Aldair with the free kick then for Roma. Here's Bonacina. Now Bresciani towards Fonseca. Oh, Lorieri was committed. Still Fonseca. Agonizingly wide. Terrific burst then by the Uruguayan international, and Roma was so nearly caught out.
Yeah, smashing diagonal ball by Bresciani. Again, Fonseca showed his pace. Lorieri misjudged it. His volley, well, a couple of feet wide at the far post.
He went bursting through then, Fonseca. He is so quick off the mark. Balbo with the pass here. Tied up by Bia. He's got a fantastic record already, Fonseca, for Napoli. 36 goals in 57 cup matches, league and cup matches. Capioli. Laid off then by Scarchili. Scarchili. Something of an escape really for Roma. At the other end. Now, can they impose themselves here?
That wasn't a bad effort at all by Balbo. Again, an instance of a great diagonal ball. Balbo's peeled off at the back post. Just failed to keep his volley on target.
It's actually Capioli, but it wasn't a bad effort anyway. Carbone. Gambaro. Here's Balbo now. Hounded by Jonas Turn. On by Carbone to Scarchili. No foul. Ferrara's crunching tackle. He's made a lively start, Scarchili. Caught then by Ferrara, and the referee saw nothing wrong with the tackle, but now he has. Free kick given to Napoli. Bresciani, who supplied that excellent pass for Fonseca a few minutes ago. Here's Fonseca now. Beretta, the other youngster who's been pushed into the team today because of the various injury problems and suspensions that Roma have. Piacentini trying to force a path to goal. Now, the other leading side in action today, of course, is Sampdoria. They're away to Lecce, although the game is being played on neutral ground. And Roberto Mancini has missed a penalty for Sampdoria. That's the third in a row now he's squandered. Lombardo, of course, took the one last week, and I think it's taken the last two now. Mancini picking on the mantle again, and he's missed it. Oh, Tagliatella missed that one, but I think he was fouled in the process. Tagliatella, who's saved a couple of penalties recently. Including, of course, that one from David Platt when we featured Napoli against Juventus. Against Sampdoria, rather. Mazzoni, the coach, has been saying this week the fans have every right to have a go at him. Says he doesn't blame them. The team have been playing that badly. Foul on turn. It's timed by the tigerish figure of Bonacina. Mia to Pecchia. That was Beretta with a strong tackle, which has incensed the referee. Beretta, a Roma youth product who had a loan spell with Vicenza last season. Now here's Lana under pressure from Bresciani. Aldier lofted up towards Balbo. Cannavaro, though, was there for Napoli. Now Pecchia. Piacentini. Aldier. Fonseca, released by Piacentini. Such a strong left foot, Fonseca. A really gifted striker, but surely over-elaborating there. Piacentini. Grappling with Franchini. It was Franchini who was fouled for the penalty that earned Napoli their draw last week against Torino. For Roma. No goals and pretty tight contest so far. Just the one real opening created for Fonseca by Bresciani's pass. Turn. Bresciani neatly off into Pecchia. Turn again. Away by Aldier. Gambaro. Gambaro again. Roma defending resolutely. Here's Balbo, who's given it away. Bresciani now. Pecchia. Roma really being pegged back now. Gambaro, I think he saw the tackle coming. It was a rash one.
Yes, I think we've seen quite a few rash tackles already, Peter. Perhaps it's the youth in the Roma side. They seem to have a very young side today, and perhaps they're trying to impress the coach Mazzoni, and they're really coming in fast and furious.
Well, that was Carboni, one of the more experienced players in the side, and he really went herring into Gambaro there. Malcolm McDonald, what have you made of the opening exchanges here?
Roma have shown some lovely passing movements, but as Liam has pointed out, they're massing so much back in defence that they are causing a lot of problems for Napoli. But when Roma start to get moving forward, the final ball is always into space, and it's Napoli are having to show a lot of patience so that they can work it out how on earth they're going to break down the defence, and they must show patience. That's what it requires, and I think that they mustn't allow some of this very heavy tackling from Roma to upset them.
Thanks, Malcolm. We'll hear from you again later on. Now, Balbo for Roma. Here with the tackle on Scarkili. That was a bit late too, by Bia.
Well, he actually got the ball.
Yeah,
he actually got the ball here, Peter. That's his third one, and he doesn't take any prisoners, Bia, but I thought he was a little bit unfortunate there to have a foul given against him.
Scarkili took a deflection then, almost at the halfway point in the first half. Franchini, who's been a large part and parcel of the Napoli side down the years, along with Ferrara, of course, his colleague at the back. Scarkili trying to force the corner, comes back off Gambaro. Roma really desperate for a result after their so disappointing performance last week against Udinese. Coach Mazzoni saying that was the worst day of my life. Who said football isn't important? It is to Mazzoni, obviously. And Roma's patron, Paolo Sensi, said it was so distressing, I'm not able to leave the stadium with a smile anymore. And Mazzoni admitted, if I was Sensi, I'd sack everyone, me included. Strong words from the coach of Roma. Scarkili. Now Piacettini. Bonacino. To the tackle on Capioli, who's coming for some harsh treatment so far. They're clearly well aware, Napoli, of what he can do. He has been something of a revelation since his move to the club from Cagliari earlier in the campaign. Came in November, Capioli, to rejoin his old coach Mazzoni, who was with Cagliari last season, of course, and took them into the UEFA Cup. Via for Napoli. Here again. Carelessly given away, though. Jonas Turn looking for Fonseca. Lana with a header out. He goes Scaparo. Now Balbo linking well with Lana. Balbo had continued his run into the middle. And interception came from Cannavaro. Young man who's impressed a lot of people this season, Cannavaro, with his defensive displays for Napoli. Gambaro. Movement from Bresciani, who has support now from Fonseca. Will want Fonseca nearer the danger zone. Ferrara with Fonseca.
There doesn't seem to be too much space at all, Peter. The both teams are closing one another down very quickly.
Gambaro with the cross in. Some pushing going on, though, I think from Bresciani.
It really is congested there in the middle of the park. And that's why we're seeing a lot of tackles, a lot of mistimed tackles, a lot of fouls.
He's adjudged the offender as he challenges there with Ferrara. The captain of Napoli, Bia. Now Pecchia. Fonseca. And he's left it for Gambaro. The cross was just too long. Controlled by Piacentini. Under pressure now from Bresciani. Feeling if Napoli can find a goal, it might open things out a little bit. Pecchia, it's very, very tight out there. So little space for anyone to work in. Piacentini, and it came back off Yana's turn.
Yeah, I think Napoli are going to need a bit of width in this game, and although we just saw Gambaro get down the right there and put a pretty decent cross in, I feel he's much more useful on the left, and he really can motor up and down that left side, and they don't seem to have anybody to do that at the moment. And everything's coming through the middle of the park, and Roma got a lot of bodies there.
Certainly missing Di Canio's win play for Napoli. He's been playing some of the best form of his career. Di Canio missing this one through injury today. Striding purposefully forward, but failing to link with Bresciani. Bonacina for Roma. Scacchilli. News coming in of a second goal now for Cagliari, away to Inter. Inter nil, Cagliari 2. With the first goal, and we'll bring you news of who scored the second one in a moment. Cannavaro. Almost showed too much of that one to Scacchilli. Bia. Now Gambaro. Lana with the intervention to deny Bresciani a side of goal. Balbo. He's got plenty of ideas down on the bench, Manzoni. But not too much creativity about this game so far. Gambaro there, I think, just going to flick back to Tagliatella. This is Piacentini taking the throw then for Roma. Lost only 2 of their last 13, Roma. They've failed to win in 6 games now. They're certainly playing fairly tentatively. Cautiously too, with only Balbo up front. No try for him again on this occasion. Bia. Cannavaro. Second goal scorer for Keller, incidentally, Pushedo, a former Napoli player. Hoisted forward then by Alder. Skakili. Pecchia lunging at him. Reckless tackle then by Pecchia. And unnecessary too.
Well, I think a referee should get a grip of these tackles because they're really spoiling the game. There's far too many stoppages. Coming through the back of people, although I think Skakili made a bit of a meal of it.
Skakili, who came on for Mihailovic last week and has been preferred in the starting lineup to him today. Dreadful free kick. It's not too good so far, Liam, is it?
No, well, it's a little bit unusual to see a lack of invention from Italian players and the Italian league, but that's what we're seeing at the moment. Both teams struggling to break one another down. I think, to be fair to Naples, Roma have every intention of coming to get a draw here. And perhaps Naples are a side that need to hit teams in the break, and they're struggling to come to terms with getting in behind them.
Bia. Now Pecchia. Skakili on the break for Roma. He has Ciantini wide. Fouled by Antonio-like figure Bonacina. Turn with a free kick then for Napoli. Finding Beer. Always comes forward whenever he can from his defensive role, Beer. Does look a very intelligent player. Cannavaro. Came off Alder. Now Bresciani. That was close set from Bresciani. Lonieri not too happy with his team's defending, and that was only inches away then, at the very least striking the post.
A very difficult angle to score from, but Bresciani had a real good go at it. Poor defending from Rome. I think it came off the head of Aldair, and Bresciani was quickly on it. It was a good effort.
Let's give it the crowd a lift anyway, the Napoli fans. Cannavaro challenging with Balbo, and the free kick given in favour of Napoli. Balbo, who's got a pretty thankless task this afternoon up front for Roma, not too much support. Only once in his last 8 games now, Balbo. So the goals have been drying up, but then you wonder about the service he's had. Piacentini. Tagliatella with a spectacular save.
I think that was one for the photographers, wasn't it, Peter?
Says his goalkeeping attire, I think. Very snazzy. Flying in, and the referee is doing his best to keep it going, but it's just one bad tackle after another.
Well, I said it a little bit earlier on, this referee is going to have to get the grips in this game, because it could really develop into a kicking match.
Well,
He hasn't yet booked anybody.
There were 2 sent off in the first meeting between the teams earlier in the season. Clearly no love lost between the two sides. Piacentini, who was one of the 2 sent off, along with Bonacina. Touched off then by Fonseca. Bia. turn. Cannavaro. Wide of him is Ferrara, who scored the winning goal. Spectacular 1-2 when Napoli beat Roma earlier in the season in what was clearly a very eventful game. Akili. Back off Gambaro. This is Carboni. And that'll be a goal kick to Roma. Just 1 point from last week's game there, which I know you saw, the Sampdoria match, and the question of penalties. The head of the Referees Association in Italy says there should be more penalties given. Referees should be bolder. Is that a feeling you go along with?
Well, I think over the last few weeks we've seen on Channel 4 and the Italian football that there's been a lot of incidents in the goal now.
You reckon there should have been 5 last week?
Well, I can't really recall, but sometimes when a referee gives a penalty in Italy, he's very reluctant to give another one to the same team. And I think we've seen that over the last couple of weeks. So maybe he has a point, Mr. Casarin.
Well, there's an injury to Bondin. Let's get the views of Malcolm McDonald on that. Not enough penalties being given, Malcolm. Would you go along with that situation?
I certainly think that a lot of incidents take place in the penalty area. Defenders on forwards that really should merit penalties. And I think that if referees were to start to give what they see, then it might make the defenders behave that much better in the area and not seek to take the liberties that they obviously do now.
Right, well, this game could do with a penalty or anything, really, to give it a lift. Pecchia. The game is just littered with bad tackles, and at last a yellow card. Nana. Was from Beretta there, not Lana. Lana, I think, was protesting on Beretta's behalf. Touch, free kick easily dealt with. Capioli. Confirmation there. First yellow card of the game to Daniele Beretta. It's only his 5th start for Roma this season. Yet another free kick. Taken quickly by Napoli. Pecchia. Gambaro showing a good turn of speed down this right flank. And almost straight out of the penalty box. Balbo. Yet another foul on Capioli, and the free kick has been taken too swiftly. And the ever suntanned referee's got his work cut out keeping this game in check.
Yes, I think he has. The lad has been booked there, Beretta. That's about his 5th bad tackle. And it's my first look at him this year, and I think he's going to find it very difficult to stay on in this game, because he seems to be that way inclined. Every ball he goes for, if he doesn't get the ball, he wants to get the man. And I think he's going to have a very difficult game now.
Well, this time it's a Roma man down injured, Capioli. News reaching me now that Zola has given Parma the lead away to Genoa. Zola, of course, former Napoli player. And they could do with his kind of imagination in this game today. It's really crying out for something different. Skakili with a free kick. Too long though for Balbo. And that one flying save apart, Tagliatella has had very little to do. Perhaps that's why he was showing off. Cannavaro. Well, that was confident enough. This is Festa. Linesman flagging. Off cut Roma, Piacentini. Bonacina. Capioli. Turn. To Bresciani. And on Festa for a Napoli throw. Really has been so little to enthuse over so far. Fonseca's had just that one chance. Also an opportunity for Bresciani, but precious little else. With 5 minutes of the first half to go. Piacentini. It's well read by Bia. That's a good player, Liam, wasn't he, Bia?
Yes, he's an excellent reader of the game. He's a very tough customer as well.
Bordin fighting then for Napoli, but to no avail. Bonacina with Carboni. By Lana, who now that he's recovered from injury will be hoping to force his way back into the Italian squad in time for the World Cup finals. Here's Turn with the free kick then for Napoli. Well, cluster of blue shirts waiting in the middle. Just can't break Roma down. Inter have pulled a goal back at home to Cagliari. It's 2-1 now. It's Ruben Sosa. His 11th of the season for Inter, so they're back in business. And it's now 2-0 to Parma away to Genoa, and it's the Swedish international Thomas Brolin who has added the second goal. Cannavaro. They haven't really been extended at the back, Napoli. Skakili. Capioli. This is Turn. Slipped on to Bresciani. Now Fonseca, and he's offside. Well, he thought he'd timed his run. The linesman did not agree. He is so quick, Fonseca. But the linesman, in fairness, was right in line. Francini linking with Turn. Well, it was within shooting distance. But no real chance there of Giannis adding to his single goal so far away to Parma. An excellent goal that one was. Still seeking his first home goal in a Napoli shirt. Jonas Turn. Two minutes of the first half to go. Napoli 0, Roma 0. There's the pass being released, and I think the referee and linesman in accord and totally right. Fonseca penalised. Alder. Elegantly done. Carboni. Carboni again. Taking a free kick for Napoli, and it's pretty disgraceful. Been a lot of careless play from both teams. Tons of commitment, of course. It hasn't been pretty to watch. Now Lana and with the goalkeepers. It's a warm afternoon in the San Carlo Stadium, but the football hasn't been too hot. With Piacentini, Bonacina. We're now into time added on for stoppages at the end of the first half. Lana. Capioli. Beretta. Though by turn, and it's Franchini now. Alder. Superbly controlled in by the Brazilian. Beretta. Now, a promising approach play here by Roma. On by Beretta. Scarchili. Capioli, they're asking a lot of him there. Bia. Now maybe the final flourish of the half will come from Roma. Piacentini with the throw. Albo's waiting in the middle. In goes Balbo. Released though by Ferrara. And the half-time whistle blown by referee Cesari and accompanied by cheers by certainly the Napoli fans, who've been very disappointed by their team's efforts to secure an opening goal here. Not the best of halves, one has to say. Let's hope it gets better for the second 45 minutes. Join us again after the break. It's Napoli 0, Roma 0.
Yes, your chance to look at some great goals, the top 9 contenders for January's Goal of the Month competition. Paul Gascoigne will choose his top selection from these. If you agree with his #1 choice, you could win an Alitalia Italia Tour trip to see Lazio play Milan in Rome next month.